and welcome back to Scottish and Scared. I'm your host Stephanie, here to tell you all the weird and wonderful things about my wee country Scotland. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at scottishandscared@gmail.com, follow us on Instagram at scottishandscaredpod, or head over to our website scottishandscared.com for all of our links and anything else that you may need. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review and comment wherever you may be listening. It does help us out a lot. Now, on to the show. Hello my lovelies, hope you are all well and enjoying this holiday season. You are hearing this on Christmas Eve, so I hope you're all settled in. You got a nice warm beverage and a blanket. If you're out getting last minute Christmas presents, I salute you, because it is quite literally hell on earth shopping this close to Christmas. Apologies for missing last week. My sister has actually just started in a job, so I was summoned to perform the babysitting ritual. It was also my niece's birthday and her first dance show last week, so it has been go. But I now have a minute's peace, thank goodness. If you follow us on social media, you probably would have already seen this, but I was actually notified during the week that we have raised over £500,000 for the Marie Curie since July. My mum's story was part of their summer appeal and their campaign for better end of life care for everyone in Scotland, which I also spoke at. I'm extremely proud that I was able to do this for them, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to anyone listening who donated, liked or shared any posts, and most of all the people who shared their experiences and stories with me. There's really nothing like being able to share and connect over a shared experience. I know this time of year is hard for everyone, especially with the state of the world's in right now, and I think everyone is having a wee bit of a hard time, so your kindness has meant everything to us, so just thank you so much. One more thing before we start, I have a table at HorrorCon Scotland next year, April 11th 2026. If you love horror, anything strange and unusual, all the creepy stuff, I suggest that you get yourself along. I've just been there as just like a regular convention goer or customer, whatever the hell you want to say, and I just love it. I always spend way more than I should, but the traders are always so good. Their stuff is always so cute, and just give me all it. But yeah, if you fancy it, if you like that kind of thing, get yourself a ticket and come along and say hello to me. But yes, like I said before, it is freezing outside, so grab a blanket, a warm drink, and let's just get into it. Today's one is going to be a bit on the shorter side, but don't you worry, I will be back on Sunday with all the goodness. But today we are in Carlisle, which is about 10 miles from the Scottish border in England. From 1998 to 2001, the local council launched a new project called Carlisle's Millennium Project. Now, the goal of this project was to essentially uncover more of Carlisle's history, focusing on archaeology to further their understanding of the Roman aspect of their history and the medieval period in Carlisle as well. So as part of this project, a walkway was commissioned that would lead under a main road and connect Carlisle Castle with Tully House Museum, thus creating a cultural link between the two. And actually, I would love to be able to visit one place and then literally follow a walkway all the way to the other. That would be fantastic. So as part of this walkway, a monument was also to be constructed, or an art installation, and Carlisle Council then commissioned local artist Gordon Young. The main theme of this piece of work was centred around the border reaver families. So these families lived along the Scottish and English borders from around the 13th to the 17th century, and this was a time where there was a lot of tension between Scotland and England. When is there not tension between Scotland and England? But they were not necessarily in favour of either. Nowadays, they are kind of known for being robbers, pillagers, murderers, and just generally lawless. They are just called outlaws. But they were very much feared by outsiders on each side of this border. But I personally suspect that they were just living and trying to feed their families in probably the only way that they knew how. They were feared so much so that in 1525 an Archbishop of Glasgow, Gavin Dunbar, created a curse consisting of 1069 words. The curse was aimed at the Reaver families and was ordered to be read out by every parish in the area in an attempt to stop their illegal activities. Now, this curse is known as one of the longest curses ever recorded, and it is named the Monition of Cursing. Whether it did any good or not is still to be found. Back in current day, it was decided that this art installation would feature some of the words of this famous curse and be placed at the end of the new 80-metre walkway. The walkway itself was actually going to be bearing the names of all of the Reaver families. The installation was created by Gordon Young, who is actually a descendant of one of the Reaver families, and the text on the installation was created by designer Andy Altman. If you would like to see the finished product, have a wee Google. I'm sure there will be pictures up on our social media as well. But it is absolutely stunning. It's a large, round boulder made of granite. It's estimated to weigh between 7 and 14 tonnes, and it was also hand carved by Andy Altman himself. On the stone itself, there are around 300 words from the 1069 word curse. The text is beautiful. I actually would have this in my garden personally. It looks like a nice water feature, but neither here nor there. And I'm actually going to read you some of the words that have been inscribed on this stone. I curse their head and all the hairs of their head. I curse their face, their brain, their mouth, their nose, their tongue, their teeth, their forehead, their shoulders, their breast, their heart, their stomach, their back, their womb, their arms, their legs, their hands, their feet, and every part of their body, from the top of their head to the soles of their feet, before and behind, within and without. I curse them going and I curse them riding, I curse them standing and I curse them sitting, I curse them eating and I curse them drinking, I curse them rising and I curse them lying, I curse them at home, I curse them away from home, I curse them within the house, I curse them outside of the house. I curse their wives, their children and their servants who participate in their deeds. I bring ill wishes upon their crops, their cattle, their wool, their sheep, their horses, their swine, their geese, their hens, and all their livestock. I bring ill wishes upon their halls, their chambers, their kitchens, their stanchions, their barns, their cowsheds, their barnyards, their cabbage patches, their ploughs, their harrows, and the goods and houses that are necessary for their sustenance and welfare. Overall, I think that is a pretty powerful piece. Yeah, that's pretty painful. That's pretty bad. But yeah, I think that the actual art installation itself is as well a pretty powerful piece, and I kind of think it does pay tribute to a group of people who are only really seen as maybe evil and bad. But the locals of Carlisle obviously did not agree with what I've just said, and when people found out about it, they were very upset, especially the local religious community. There was this idea that it was going to bring a really bad energy to the area, and it would be a hotspot for devil worship. It hadn't even been installed yet, and it was being blamed for anything negative that had happened in the area. And it was around this time that there was a pretty bad outbreak of foot and mouth disease, and it affected a lot of agriculture and people in the area. It even crippled a local food factory called Kavanagh and Gray, and that actually put a lot of people out of work. So yeah, everyone thought it was the stone and it had cursed the area. Nevertheless, it was installed in the underpass between Carlisle Castle and Tully House Museum, and during its time on display there were a few things that were attributed to its presence. There were very bad floods in Carlisle, and they were actually pretty devastating. There was a fire at a factory within Rathbones Bakery which left it abandoned, and 80 people lost their jobs, and it was even linked to the murder of a 14-year-old boy. And these are all things that have actually happened. I've looked into them a lot. I didn't really want to dive too deep into that murder because it's a 14-year-old boy and that's pretty weird, but yeah, all these things actually happened during its time on display. And this was all kind of getting a wee bit much for Carlisle Council. I imagine they were being inundated with complaints about this stone, and I don't know if this was the council or if this was just the community at large, but an archbishop did make the trip to bless and exorcise the stone, which obviously didn't work. It was then proposed in 2005 that it was moved completely outside the city, or it was just destroyed. And when the creators of the stone caught wind of this, they were understandably quite angry. Something that they had put a lot of time, a lot of effort and energy into creating with the best intentions was to be destroyed because of some imaginary curse. But was it imaginary? That is the question. To this day, the stone is still sitting under that underpass, nestled among the names of the very people it was used to curse. Do we think that there is actually a curse at play here, or just a series of coincidences that demand a reason? I personally don't think it's cursed. I think the context in which the curse was created was very religious based. It was an archbishop that created it, so the whole devil worship thing is just nonsense to me. I feel like whenever there is anything or anyone who appears to oppose Christianity or doesn't abide or follow the Christian path, they are immediately branded satanic or sinful or whatever it is, and I just think it's rubbish. I do think that bad things happen. A few bad things happened during its time there, and I actually think their local football team was relegated as well. I know nothing about football, so don't come for me, but obviously that was the Stones' fault, obviously. But no, I personally don't think it's cursed. I could be completely wrong about that. Let me know your thoughts. I genuinely think it's a beautiful installation. The design is beautiful, and the walkway featuring the family names of the Vorder families is lovely. It's your history, and you should always remember your history, whether it's bad or good. You should always remember it, and you should always talk about it. But yes, let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's cursed? Was there anything I missed? Please let me know. I wish you all the happiest of holidays. If you're with family or you're alone, as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. So I will see you all on Sunday, and then we are on the home stretch to the new year. But yes, have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you for listening. Stay weird, stay scared. Bye, folks.